As you look up from the pavement to the sky, feeling without foothold, a starry wall is moving steadily back. What do you say to that, you whining rockets? In the street, the bug cars scuttle and shoot, aiming at distance, and you grow wary. Seeing the same carnivori, their backs hunched to the red light, each morning waiting and puffing. Rest with the trees, stand with the buildings, struck by lightning, blasted by peace into wormwood. Farther up the road, we turn off. David Ignatow. In the dark, I watch the flaming part of me hurtle into space. I remain silent. My loves, my belongings are expendable. I walk dead, the cry within me for eternal life. Hydrogen, nitrogen, matter, antimatter. I am a voice formed of gases falling together, the death of which has overcome me. David Ignatow. The sustained exploration of Earth's upper atmosphere. You have taken a human step into space. You have put your feet in the flame's way. Temperatures upwards of 50 million degrees will not deter you. You have vowed to love each other while the rocks stand. You will liberate the enormous energy of human fission to bring forth new Earth creatures for the high vacuum furnace of tomorrow's supersonic reflexes. Already your Explorer space laboratory is orbiting around Earth with your love, capturing sunlight for power. Walter Lowenfels. We deserve that Earth shot from the moon's asbestos-gray horizon, a family portrait on the old homestead, yet not a single one of us could be seen, and the only history being made was storm swirls over rocks and oceans. So our prophets, from as long ago as the close of paradise, had at last a picture to illustrate their remarks. As the atoms in our invisible heads go on blasting out toward darker and darker lights, what we can hope for but smaller and smaller snapshots of this place, already small and lonesome enough. The countdown, however, is pulsing in all our engineered spaces of mind, and each flight now must explode into the next till we, and our shape in the sun, and our weather, vanish altogether, altogether. Ernest Sandine. The blind boy said, "Darkness can be your friend or enemy. You have to understand it. If you destroy, maybe you'll hurt yourself. I try to know my darkness." It was the day. An arrow on the chart pointed to the sun. The blind boy said, "A boy running in the path tripped me. When I picked myself up from the bushes, I had lost my sense of the way. I lost all my cues. I didn't know where to turn. I called. Nobody heard. The worst," the blind boy said, "isn't to be blind, but to lose direction." This was the day. A rocket turned into a planet. A planet loosed from a platform by a man fell upward into space, past gravitation racing to the sun. The blind boy said, "You never know whether you are going toward good things or trouble. Darkness is just like light." I thought about that a lot. Nobody can look into the sun. Lenore Marshall. 'Twas noontide of summer, and mid-time of night, and stars in their orbits shone pale through the light of the brighter, cold moon. Mid planets her slaves, herself in the heavens, her beam on the waves. I gazed awhile on her cold smile, too cold for me, there passed as a shroud of fleecy cloud, and I turned away to thee, proud evening star. In thy glory afar, and dearer thy beam shall be, for joy to my heart is the proud part thou bearest in heaven at night, and more I admire thy distant fire than that colder, lowly light. Edgar Allan Poe. I am alive at night. I am dead in the morning, an old vessel who used up her oil, bleak and pale-boned. No miracle, no dazzle. I'm out of repair, but you are tall in your battle dress, and I must arrange for your journey. I was always a virgin, old and pitted, before the world was. I was. I have been oranging and fat, carrot-colored, gaped at, allowing my cracked O's to drop on the sea near Venice and Mombasa. Over Maine I have rested. I have fallen like a jet into the Pacific. I have committed perjury over Japan, have dangled my pendulum, my fat bag, my gold, blinkly light, over you all. So, if you must inquire, do so. After all, I am not artificial. I looked long upon you, love-bellied and emptied, flipping my endless display for you, you my cold coverall man. You need only request, and I will grant it. It is virtually guaranteed that you will walk into me like a barracks. So come cruising, you of the blast-off, you of the bastion, you of the scheme. I will shut my fat eye down, headquarters of an area, house of a dream. Anne Sexton. Seas of lava and crater formations cover the moon, it is assumed, issued from the equatorial region of the Earth by the process of disruption, and must therefore no one who has observed the moon, even through a relatively small telescope, displacement can forget this picture of tremendous catastrophes. A flood of molten lava that has engulfed and obliterated craters, the terrestrial axis, mountain ridges, meteorite displacement path, all are extinct. The theory of Earth tremors occur more often when the moon can be taught. I assume is between the sun and the moon. World moonless illusion, or when it is between the congealed sun effect and the Earth bubbling activity. When the moon crosses the meridian of the afflicted locality, that became when the moon is closest to the Earth. The face of the moon, an indisputable proof of catastrophic events on a planetary scale. Jackson McLowe. Art thou pale for weariness of climbing heaven and gazing on the earth, wandering companionless among the stars that have a different birth, and ever changing, like a joyless eye that finds no object worth of its constancy? Percy Shelley. Presence among us, wanderer in our skies, dazzle of silver in our leaves and on our waters silver. Oh, silver evasion in our farthest thought, the visiting moon, the glimpses of the moon, and we have touched you. From the first time, before the first of time, before the first men tasted time, we thought of you. You were a wonder to us, unattainable, a longing past the reach of longing, a light beyond our light, our lives, perhaps a meaning to us. Now, our hands have touched you in your depth of night. 3 days and 3 nights we journeyed, steered by the farthest stars, climbed outward, crossed the invisible tide rip, where the floating dust falls one way or the other in the void between, followed that other down, encountered cold, faced death, unfathomable emptiness. Then, the 4th day evening we descended, made fast, set foot at dawn upon your beaches, sifted between our fingers your cold sand. We stand here in the dusk, the cold, the silence, and here, as at the first of time, we lift our heads. Over us, more beautiful than a moon, a wonder to us, unattainable, a longing past the reach of longing, a light beyond our light, our lives, perhaps a meaning to us. Oh, a meaning. Over us on these silent beaches, the bright earth, presence among us. Archibald MacLeish. Greeting to you, gem of the night, beauty of the skies, gem of the night, mother of the stars, gem of the night, foster child of the sun, gem of the night, majesty of the stars, gem of the night. Scottish Gaelic folk prayer. The moon is Hamlet on a motorcycle, coming down a dark road. He is wearing black leather jacket and boots. I have nowhere to go. I will ride all night. Richard Brautigan. The Martian appeared on Sunday morning. He was met by all the fire departments and the high school bands. The drum majorettes pranced appealingly. Their plump buttocks bobbed in unison under the sleazy skirts. The stock market, fearful of interspatial war, fell. A poet succeeded in making a net to catch the reflection of the stars in the water. The Martian extruded his tentacles and turned pale green. The stock market, fearful of interspatial peace, fell, and the sun shone like a bell that never stopped ringing. H.R. Hayes. Asteroid, effluvia of space as yet untouched in the quasar blue disk. Leo and Sagittarius grappling, invent new light, the naming of places. Each crater of the moon assumes its bearing in distance. This spot, center of the universe, energy breaks the infinity of void in sidereal light. Jupiter, 12 moons are too many, infinity beyond probing, beyond matter or mattering, beyond, as yet, conception, and therefore existence. Outer space and imagination, a relativity, our stars, a matter of place and discovery, the shadow of a cloud on the coast of Labrador. On the coast of Labrador, the shadow of a cloud and discovery, our stars, a matter of place, a relativity, outer space and imagination, and therefore existence, beyond as yet conception, beyond matter or mattering. Infinity beyond probing, 12 moons are too many in sidereal light. Jupiter, energy breaks the infinity of void, center of the universe, in distance. This spot assumes its bearing, each crater of the moon, the naming of places, invent new light. Leo and Sagittarius grappling in the quasar blue disk, as yet untouched. Effluvia of space. Asteroid. Dan Gerber. From the distances in which the planets formed, through the empty cold that bathes them, emptier than the sandbars, of midwinter, these are kind, the air masses rush over them, or pass above the sea fringes, and the cells produce their aggregates. Only that they die recalls the iron cold, cold to touch, the meteor in its impact crater, frost on it, its fusion crust, already cold. Perhaps it was a worldlet, its history in its structure, not to be recovered. Perhaps its past is in that vanished cloud from which the sun, the giant planets, these steady lights that float in the night, in the lenses, in the aqueous humor, and the rods and cones, they float in mind, in memory, with it their atmospheric pulse. By centuries traverse and orbit, by millennia, the rings of Saturn go through their seeming change, or Saturn is occulted briefly by a moon, it vanishes, seen across a limb, it reappears, its immersion brief. Boat that is eclipsed by the rough horizon, boat that reappears, Titan with it, moon its own. In the photos, Mars is largely cratered, nothing there or nothing logic did not foresee another world, deeper than this in the zone of asteroids, less intensely swept by the traveling clouds of solar wind, by radiations in orbit of the sun, that restless sphere, photographed from 2 points simultaneously. The orbit of Pribram, the meteor, takes it back to the zone of Mars and Jupiter, asteroid-strewn paths. It comes from there. Seymour Faust. In the midnight heavens burning through the ethereal deeps afar, once I watched with restless yearning and alluring aureate star, every eve aloft returning, gleaming nigh the Arctic car. Mystic waves of beauty blended with the gorgeous golden rays. Fantasies of bliss descended in a mirrored Elysian haze, and in lyre-born chords extended harmonies of Lydian lays. There, thought I, lie scenes of pleasure, where the free and blessed dwell, and each moment bears a treasure, freighted with the lotus spell, and there floats a liquid measure from the lute of Israfel. There, I told myself, were shining worlds of happiness unknown, peace and innocence entwining by the crowned virtue's throne, men of light, their thoughts refining, purer, fairer than our own. Thus I mused, when o'er the vision crept a red delirious change, hope dissolving to derision, beauty to distortion strange, hymnic chords in weird collision, spectral sights in endless range. Crimson burned the star of madness as behind the beams I peered. All was woe that seemed but gladness ere my gaze with truth was seared. Cacodemons murred with madness, through the fever flickered, leered. Now I know the fiendish fable that the golden glitter bore. Now I shun the spangled sable that I watched and loved before. But the horror, set and stable, haunts my soul forevermore. H.P. Lovecraft. Neutron stars. Team picks up weak space impulses. New kind of radio source have been discovered by the Mullard Radio Astronomy Observatory at Cambridge University. Scott and R. A. Collins. Signals may come from a type of star whose existence has been suspected. 24 Issues of Nature. Signals means that the source is a pulsating star. Signals they have received shows that the diameter of the source must be less than 5,000 kilometers, 3,100 miles. Signals. How does pulsation of a star give rise to radio emissions? Like the radio bursts generated by flares on the sun, pin down more precisely their exact position. Neutron stars are believed to represent the final stages in the life of stars such as the sun. Equilibrium situation cannot persist indefinitely. Sustaining the internal pressures will be exhausted. Contraction will then gain the upper hand. Neutrons. Size of such a neutron star would be very small. Standards. Stars may also be formed as remnants of exploding stars. Astronomers. Stars originating in supernovae that may be expected to pulsate received shows that the diameter of the source must be less than 5,000 kilometers, 3,100 miles. Hewish and his colleagues at Cambridge will be to pin down precisely their exact position with any star, sun, white dwarf, a white dwarf. It more likely than they originate in a neutron star than in a white dwarf. Report in Nature suggests that the repetition period of the signals of approximately 1 second makes it more likely that they originate in a neutron star than in a white dwarf. Neutron stars therefore likely candidates to explain the signals. Nature of the signals they receive shows that the diameter of the source must be less than 5,000 kilometers, 3,100 miles. Originating in supernovae that may be expected to pulsate, neutron stars may also be formed as remnants of exploding stars. However small, size is relatively small. Signals means that the source is a pulsating star. However, similar to that of the sun, together to form neutrons, faint objects probably escape discovery because of the difficulty of finding such faint objects. How does pulsation of a star give rise to radio emissions? Like the radio bursts generated by flares on the sun. Pin down more precisely their exact position. Jackson Maclow. A light year is a cell year. Nothing hurries it on but its own speed. Nothing halts it but its round roll. It rushes through space as through a lifetime of incarceration. Unconscionable to me is the speed of a light year, which I cannot follow with my mind's eye, or hear rushing and rattling with my heart's ear, but stands still around me in perpetual moment of the universe. In the real year into which I was born, autumn succeeds summer, and every flower lives hastily through the steps of its day, filled with the clamor of seconds and happenings. How can I fathom the millennial views of sky from cell walls which appertain to eternity, when here at hand gardens of time happen, come into bloom, fade, happen again? Josephine Miles. If angels ate apples, potatoes, and pears, they'd grow up to be chubby and cheerful as bears, nibbling knishes and other such things, tickling your face with the tips of their wings. If seraphim shouted and whistled at girls, drank draughts from thimbles, all friends with the world, drained the best ale and chased it with rye, then fluttered in circles while trying to fly. Angels on tables, watch out for your glass. Slipping on puddles, right plop on their ass. Laughing at music that only they hear, then tweaking the barmaids, a pinch on the rear. Fuzzy fat angels that's something to see as they dance to the jukebox at 2:45 and ace out the pinball, a marvelous feat. The lights and bells flashing, though sometimes they cheat. If angels made merry, would that be so odd? Must they always be solemn to stay friends with God? It's a pity that heaven is so far away. Angels hardly ever come down and just play. Jeffrey A. Landis. Greeting to you, son of the seasons, as you travel the skies on high, with your strong steps on the wing of the heights. You are the happy mother of stars. You sink down in the perilous ocean without harm and without hurt. You rise up on the quiet wave like a young queen in flower. Scottish Gaelic folk prayer. O our Mother Earth, O our Father Sky, your children are we, and with tired backs we bring you the gifts you love. Then weave for us a garment of brightness. May the warp be the white light of morning. May the weft be the red light of evening. May the fringes be the falling rain. May the border be the standing rainbow. Thus weave for us a garment of brightness, that we may walk fittingly where birds sing, that we may walk fittingly where grass is green. O our Mother, the Earth, our Father, the Sky. Tewa prayer. Goodbye, pale, cold, inconstant tease. You never existed, therefore we had to invent you. Goodbye, crooked little man, huntress who sleeps alone, dear pastor, shepherd of stars, who tucked us in. Goodbye, sun's nubile, runaway sister. Good riddance, phony prop, con man moon who tap dance with June to the tender surrender of love from above. Goodbye, decanter of magic liquids, fortune teller par excellence, seducer, incubus, medicine man, exile, sanity, love's sealed lips, womb that nourished the monstrous child, and the sweet rich grain. Goodbye. We trade you in as we traded the evil eye for the virus, the rosy seed of affections, for the indispensable pump. Liesl Muller. Greeting to you, new moon, kindly jewel of guidance. I bend my knees to you, I offer you my love. I bend my knees to you, I raise my hands to you. I lift up my eye to you, new moon of the seasons. Greeting to you, new moon, darling of my love. Greeting to you, new moon, darling of graces. You journey on your course, you steer the flood tides, you light up your face for us, new moon of the seasons. Queen of guidance, queen of good luck, queen of my love, new moon of the seasons. Scottish Gaelic folk prayer.